This keeps getting crazier. The Padres' search to find their next manager is down to what seems to be the final three, maybe more. Let's talk about it on this episode of Padres Digest. What's going on, everybody? Christian Pedersen back with another episode of the show that is like ignoring the Dodgers. To hell with them. Let's talk about our boys. If you want to comment, as always, on anything we're going to talk about in this video, I love hearing from you. You guys see baseball very differently than I do, and I think it's an awesome community of all sorts of points of view that we are building, especially Dodger fans trying to troll us. And if you want to hit the subscribe button and join that community, I'm never going to say no. All right, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this headline. Cut to graphic number 1 here of Talking Friars. Credit to him, always doing a great job on the TLDRs of tweets. Kevin Acey's latest article. Basically, Ruben Niebla, Nick Hundley, Albert Pujols seems to be the short list. They are the candidates that have gone back for a second round. They are not the only remaining candidates being thrown out there as a disclaimer that it probably is something you got to do. In the absence of the Padres sending out a press release saying, hey, we're down to these 3 guys, you just kind of got to throw that out there because I'm sure there could be some other last minute candidate. But Ruben Niebla, the current Padres pitching coach, Nick Hundley, former Padres catcher, and then Albert Pujols, one of the greatest sluggers in the history of the game. Okay, minute 40 in, and I will say that that's where the hard and fast of the facts of where we are at right now is that we are into round number 2. So all 3 of these guys have done a first managerial interview and have made it to the next round of interviews. If you're viewing this as a normal company's process of hiring, that is a positive thing to do. You usually don't want to just pick a guy based off of, we talked to him for 36 minutes and we just knew. Sometimes but it's good to get a couple of different interviews, good to have some rapport, good to, if nothing else, just see if that chemistry can sustain itself there versus somebody just knowing specifically how to interview really well. Thoughts on these 3 guys? I think the Padres, if you look at the history of what we've done managerial-wise and skipping out on our 2 interim managers that we had here who then went on to be managing for World Series and NLCS level championship baseball teams, is not necessarily it's probably one of those rules in mathematics. It's not, there's no correlation for that causation. It's not that if we missed on Dave Roberts, we're also guaranteed to miss on Ruben Niebla. But I have argued on this channel multiple times that it seems like what the Padres, to me, need the most is just a break from the routine, a break from the cycle that they've gotten themselves in, and it doesn't seem to be a young or an old or a player or an ex-player or not kind of thing. It just seems to be doing the managerial search thing and not just being like, this guy's here. This guy knows the clubhouse. People like him. Regardless of if he's got the credentials, he's the right guy, and just doing it off the vibes pick. And I do think that everything I have read and seen seems to be that Ruben Niebla is enjoyed, is liked, is admired both by the players and by the fandom. It seems like you guys are solidly behind him. So if we're in a situation where it's one of these 3 guys, and if it isn't Ruben Niebla, like if they pick Nick Hundley or Pujols and Ruben's going to leave, then I think that trumps everything. I don't know. This is, again, we're into the editorial half of this video, so I don't for sure concretely know anything to say that, like, oh, Ruben will go one way or the other on that. So I know that, like, that's where that can be super dicey to navigate. If you're, hey, I was going to be the manager, I wanted to be the manager, they said no, but how about you stay as the pitching coach? Do you even stay in the same vibes and like, if keeping a disgruntled Ruben Niebla has that domino falling of it just starts to slow us down. Maybe I don't want that, actually. So it's kind of what's swirling in my head on Niebla. For Nick Hundley. Actually, you know what? Let's skip to Pujols because I have talked the most about Pujols on all of this, on this channel, all of this last 2 weeks of this process. I think Pujols as manager and retaining Niebla, if you can get him to stay positive in the clubhouse, is what I am still voting for. But if we lose Niebla by not hiring him, keep him. Hire him, let Pujols go. If we can keep Ruben and Pujols can become the manager, I get what you guys are saying of I don't want this sideshow of this rock star manager. I don't want this isn't going to fix anything. This isn't it. Maybe it won't. But I have a feeling that Albert Pujols is somebody who is in this for the pursuit of baseball excellence. He's not a guy who's huge on social media. I don't get the sense that there's a documentary crew following it. He's not Alex Rodriguez. He's not somebody who's doing the thing like when Derek Jeter took over the Marlins. That was a vanity project for Derek Jeter to flex and stay in the public mind space, allegedly, if the Marlins were going to be successful. I don't get those vibes from Pujols. I think that Pujols, like I said with Ruben, is a break in the trend. I think he offers something that is different, that is elite mindset, that is it's not even that there's a specific verb I'm going for. He's somebody who is, to me, outside of the box. So I vote those two I really like. The Nick Hundley one, to me, is a bit of a quagmire because I have never disliked Nick Hundley. I have never I've never necessarily loved him. But he is somebody who has worked with former Padre Chris Young in Texas, who Chris Young is getting rave reviews as a GM there and building something good. And so, Hundley's a guy who's been in the player development side, but I would be curious if he is, as catchers make good managers, and if he is somebody who has served in the different facets of a baseball team, has played in San Diego, and has connections to understanding Petco and the culture and all that kind of stuff, and the transformation of where we have been to where we are. It seems like that's something that the Padres maybe could benefit from, hypothetically. I don't know. I don't think that there's a bad choice in any of these three, but I think there's better choices than others, and I think that the caveat of Ruben Niebla staying with Pujols or somebody else managing, I guess I rank right now Niebla, Pujols, Hundley, 1, 2, 3, but it's really close. I like all these choices. I think that the best possible scenario here and the worst possible scenario here might not actually be all that far apart. I don't know. Obviously, we still have to put players out there, and we still have to do a lot of things that are not just managerial hire-wise, but I'm down for it. Let me know what you think. Drop a comment. Hit the subscribe button. Until next time, talk to you guys soon.